that in 2 of 5?
Michael Boatwright.
Okay, and the items or the currency that is being held by Michael Boatwright, do you recall if that is from the robbery in this case?
Yes, it is.
Do you recall if this photograph was taken after you and your co-defendants robbed and killed the victim?
Yes.
And asking also about states 2 of 5 of states 8. Do you recall, as testified, Mr. Boatwright lived with you, did he have that amount of currency prior to the homicide?
No.
I'm showing you what has been entered into evidence, states 3 of 5. Who is that in states 3 of 5, grinning with $100 bills in his hands, fanned out?
Trayvon Newsom.
And do you recall if this currency that's in Mr. Newsom's hand was taken from the victim in this case after you and your co-defendants robbed and killed the victim?
Yes.
Do you recall, because Mr. Trayvon Newsom, as you said, was living with you, did he have this amount of currency prior to the homicide on June 18, 2018?
No.
And earlier, in a, I believe it was states 3, the video of the car crash. Do you recall when you identified Mr. Newsom and Mr. Boatwright in the video, and you also talked and testified extensively about what they were wearing?
Yes.
Do you recall, is this from the same day where Mr. Newsom is wearing, it appears to be the same outfit?
Yes.
So is this from the day of the homicide?
Yes.
How about, and I'm going to show you again, 2 of 5 of states 8, when you talked about Mr. Boatwright's hat and what he was wearing with some fatigue pants and dark colored shirt. Is he appeared to be wearing the same thing that you testified about earlier from states 3?
Yes.
So this photograph of Mr. Boatwright fanning currency from the robbery, is this from the day of the homicide?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked for identification, or excuse me, marked for evidence as states 4 or 5 from states 8. Who's in that photograph?
Trayvon Newsom and Deidre Williams.
Okay, and is this from around the time of the homicide, after the homicide rather?
No.
When is this from? Was it earlier?
Yes.
Okay. During that 2 to 3 month period?
Yes.
I'm showing you 5 of 5 from states 8. Who's in states 8? 5 of 5.
Michael Boatwright and me.
And it appears that the both of you are both fanning $100 bills in U.S. currency. Is that currency that you and your co-defendant, Michael Boatwright, holding from the $50,000 that you stole from the victim when you killed him?
Yes.
And when is this picture, when is it from?
A couple days later.
A couple of days after you robbed and killed the victim?
Yes.
Do you remember where this picture was taken?
No.
I'm going to show you what has been pre-marked for identification. As states I. May I approach, Your Honor? Do you recognize states I?
Yes.
How do you recognize states I?
Agent Williams,
And is this the firearm that you testified about earlier that Agent Williams had on him during the robbery and homicide?
yes.
At this time, I move into evidence states I as the next numbered exhibit. I believe it states 9.
No objection. No objection, yes, Mr. Newsom.
All right, what was previously marked states I for identification shall be received into evidence as states 9. Now that it's in evidence, I'm going to
Judge, if we could, I don't plan on handing it to anybody. Could we deal with this potentially at a break? Because I'd like to be able to publish it as it's possible.
well, how are you going to publish it?
Showing and then put it on the projector.
Okay, we're not going to pass it around.
So
All right.
I can do it the
Until
old
we
school way.
secure it.
I was going to say, Judge, I can do it old school way and do it that way. And then I was going to put it on the projector and ask questions.
Let me just explain to the jury what I'm talking about. So, contained within the box that is now received in evidence is a firearm, and there are 2 pouches in there, one which I believe is a spent cartridge, and there also appear to be some live rounds. As jurors, anything that becomes in evidence will ultimately, you will have the ability to look at, touch, whatever, go back to the jury room with you. I do not allow firearms and live rounds to be together at the same time. So at some point, I'm going to have those live rounds removed and kept back here. And since they are in evidence, at some point, if you wish to view them, you'll be allowed to come out and view them here in open court, but not at the same time as we have the firearm. I'm sure you all understand why. But right now for publishing, so instead of handing it to you and having you pass it back and forth, I'll ask the state to just display it to you, and on the upper cam, then later on, we will remove the live rounds. Thank you.
May I approach as close as I can get? Okay, Mr. Allen, I'm showing you what is entered into evidence as states 8, 9. Okay. You have identified this as the firearm that Mr. Williams had in his possession the day of the homicide. What about the gun? Was when you were testifying earlier about the firearm, you indicated that it was ornate. Can you point out to us what you were referring to in the picture? Or what you can see projected on your screen?
Gold trigger.
I can't hear you. Remember, we got to speak
Gold
up nice
trigger.
and loud.
The gold trigger.
Okay. And what, if anything, do you recall, Mr. Williams indicated that he was supposed to do with his firearm on that day?
You never said.
Okay. My co-counsel is helping me zoom it in. Is that the gold trigger there in the center of
Yes.
in the center of the screen?
Yes.
Okay. And what caliber is this firearm?
38.
And the type of firearm that it is, you indicated, I believe you indicated it was a revolver,
Yes.
correct?